Well, that sucked. Fire Jameis, fire Carmichael, fire Dennis Allen, Dave, even fire Sir Saint. We fed up. Thomas, if you aren't on point tonight, we might fire you. Hit that intro.
G'day, it's Stevic from 12 Ninja here, and look, if you like American football, you should check out Saints Happy Hour podcast. I personally know fuck all about American football, other than it's a bunch of massive blokes wearing spandex, shoulder pads and helmets, running around with throwing a football. In Australia, you don't throw footballs. You punch it or you kick it, and there's no protection. They're all naked, and there's sharks and crocodiles fired out of cannons onto the field, and we all stand around and drink blood watching it. But American football's your thing, you know what to do. Saints Happy Hour podcast. Stick it in your ear hole.
All right, everybody, we are live on Twitch. Thanks for joining Saints Happy Hour podcast. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch. Remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button on YouTube. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour, and you get 2 months for free. Thanks to Seth, Monte, Key, and Chris for signing up. Chris signed up as an annual patron. He knows where it's at. He gets 2 months for free. I want to thank also Hatchet John 13 for 100 bits. Hatchet John, you're the man. You're my favorite person ever. We are now doing an MVP contest for people who watch and donate or subscribe during the live stream. Anybody who donates during the show each week gets entered into a drawing at the end of the season for Saints Happy Hour and a Smoke Monday t-shirt. The person who donates the most each week gets entered into our drawing to win 2 Saints game tickets for 2023. And the person who donates the most each week gets to have a 30-second video of themselves giving their Saints hot take played the following week. Thomas, who won last week? Do we know that? Do we keep track of that?
It was Budrich, right? Oh, no.
Nice. All right. So, everybody, what are you drinking? I am drinking. It is called the Monster Mash. It is Spark Mountain Dew and Jack Daniel's whiskey, and it tastes like the Saints played.
Without. See, the thing is, Ralph, is we haven't discussed why you're drinking this.
We'll get to that.
Why? Yeah, right. And why you? So it's out of context. That is a gross, disgusting, weird mixture.
Well, let's not pretend that Ralph doesn't normally drink.
Yeah, but
gross,
he's
disgusting mixtures.
So keep listening to find out why Ralph is drinking this mixture. I am drinking Rally Cat Brewing out of Baton Rouge. I'm drinking their. My favorite color is rainbows, which is delicious. I think because I think El Dorado. I think I like El Dorado hops. Throwing rainbows.
I'm trying to watch some of the weight. Trying to watch my figure.
I know you're trying to get from like 175 to like 172, right?
I'm below both of those numbers.
Oh my god!
This is Crystal Head vodka. This is Dan Aykroyd owns this vodka.
Really?
The actor? Yeah, it's a really cool bottle, right?
Yeah, it's a skull.
Why clear alcohol?
I mixed that with a
rich
little,
women on diets.
I mixed that with a little Waterloo. We got cherry limeade here, so
Waterloo.
Yeah, there you go.
Kevin,
keeping it low cal.
Kevin,
Uncle Nearest again.
Uncle Nearest.
Listen, the offense was terrible. Interceptions, penalties, Jameis looking panicky, Kamara fumbling. Dave, where do we begin with this atrocity of a football game?
I think we have to talk about Jameis, right? Isn't that what everybody's been talking about the last 2 weeks? Actually,
I mean, listen, if you're not watching the live stream, you should. I mean, Jameis. Of course, Thomas starts it out with maybe one of the key plays of the game, the penalty, the block on your boyfriend. Your boyfriend's struggling, Dave.
You know what? Yeah, he is struggling. He did get the touchdown, but yeah, what? I don't know about that. We'll talk about that later too. Okay, look, my thoughts, because I didn't get to join Spaces. I was at my in-laws' house yesterday. But the Saints have played 12 quarters of football, and only one of those quarters has been good. Only one of those quarters has been, good. Maybe a couple of the early quarters against the Buccaneers, maybe they were okay. But and I hate to be.
They scored 3 points against the Bucs until the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Are you talking
about the whole team or just the offense?
I'm talking in general the offense. The defense for those 12 quarters in general has played very well. No, I'm talking about the offense specifically. And thank you for making me clarify that. It's not there. Something's not working.
Thank you, Biloxi Blues, for the bits. Appreciate it.
Something is not clicking. I think it's easy and also possibly accurate to blame it on Jameis. I don't know what it is. Look, I'm willing to give him. I'm not as mad with Jameis this week as I was last week. Why I don't know, but I guess maybe partially that is what I saw when I watched that game.
You've accepted the terrible
part of that. Yes, that might be accurate. But I only watched the game one time live. I didn't watch it over and over again like Andrew does. I didn't watch the tape. I didn't grade anything. But what I remember seeing live was just the offensive line was terrible. The offensive line was crumbling in, especially with interior pressure. I mean, they were at Jameis in his face very regularly. Even in the run game, I felt like there were some runs. Kamara was supposed to, be in the A gap or the B gap or whatever, and there was just nothing there. And so I thought the offensive line played a very poor game. Now you could say, and I might be one of these people that would say this, but like, is Jameis supposed to be helping his offensive line? Is he supposed to be calling audibles? Is he supposed to be vocal out there at the line? Is he supposed to be calling out protections?
Well,
is he doing it? And he doesn't need to be doing it as much as Drew Brees. I know Drew Brees was a savant when it came to that stuff, but could he be doing it better? I don't know.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Drew.
Yes.
I want
you to go back to blaming Jameis. Then it's Jameis' fault.
That's a good segue, though, Andrew, because I want
What segue? We're not done with this topic yet. We're still shitting on Jameis.
It's like a subtopic of people got in my timeline today on Twitter and were like, Jameis said that they had the zero blitz and they didn't have enough people to block as many people as the Panthers blitzed. And Andrew, tell me if I'm wrong. You're a tape watcher. You know the X's and O's. I was like, that's not an indictment of the offensive line. That's on Jameis to be like, we don't have enough people to block. Let's run a tunnel screen. Let's run a slant. Let's not run a 7-step drop and get sacked.
Yeah, look, there's some stats that I want to throw out there.
Let's hear them.
We know Teddy Bridgewater was 5-0 with this team. Mostly the same defense. I mean, some guys switch, but the defense is playing well. So for the sake of this exercise, right? Teddy Bridgewater figured out how to win games. 5-0. Taysom Hill has started 9 games over the course of 2 years. He's 7
Thomas, what is
7-2. Taysom is 7-2.
Continue, Andrew, but
and then Jameis was 5-2 last year. So we've seen 3 different quarterbacks win games. Teddy, Taysom, and then Jameis last year win with this defense, win with this team, with this roster, okay? And then you fast forward to this year, and let's just compare Jameis last year to this year. That shitty quarterbacks can win with this defense. We've seen it, right? Teddy Bridgewater, he's a backup now.
Don't insult Teddy B.
I love Teddy, but I'm just saying he's a backup somewhere else now, right? He's 5-0. Taysom Hill, he's not even a backup quarterback.
Taysom Hill's trash.
He's not even like, and he was 7-2, right? So like we have seen bad backup level quality quarterbacks win a lot of games over the last several years, okay? And so I asked myself, what has changed? The offensive line, it's the same dudes. It's Ramczyk, it's Hurst, it's Pete, it's Ruiz. Jameis didn't even have McCoy last year. When he was 5-2, that was without McCoy, who missed the first 6 games. So the offensive line hasn't changed. He's had Alvin Kamara. I mean, Kamara missed the Bucs game, but like he's had Kamara. His receivers have improved, right? He has Olave. He has Landry. He's not throwing at Kenny Stills, Kevin White, and freaking Adam Troutman anymore. So what's changed? And I just like, clearly it's the injury, right? Because his ankle's busted and his back's hurt. But like his level of play has receded so bad that they cannot win games. He is not effective the way he's playing right now. And to me, the only thing that's changed, his receivers got better. So the only thing that's changed is his health. I think you have to ask yourself, is he not healthy enough to play?
Here's my question, Kevin. You are our resident failed relationship expert. I feel like Jameis. I feel like Jameis is the girl you date and you want it to work out because she's nice and you like her.
Is he a doctor?
But deep in places you don't want to talk about, it ain't going to work out. But you like her, so you're prolonging the inevitable. And Jameis is that girl. Whether it's 2 weeks, a month, if it's in March, Jameis ain't the long-term answer. He ain't going to be the long-term answer. And this relationship is going nowhere.
Oh, I know this question, Evan, but I do want to say that it's funny the amount of people that still are on board the Jameis train, that still love Jameis. I said this on Discord, when the apocalypse happens and there is nothing left on the face of the earth, there will be 3 things. There will be the cockroaches, there will be Keith Richards, and there will be the Jameis Winston apologists.
Do you remember when the Pelicans? Do you remember when the Pelicans had Jimmer Fredette and he had like these stands that like that it just insisted that he was amazing and refused to believe otherwise. Yeah.
But Kevin, am I right? Is the Jameis? It's not happening. It's done.
It's definitely the relationship where, hey, the person's got a shaky background, but they're really good in bed. They do a couple of things that just blow your mind, but you realize that outside of the bedroom, it's just like you can't have a conversation with this person. They're talking, their lips are moving. You're just staring at their face like, what the hell are they saying? This isn't going to work. This doesn't make sense, but you try and hang on to it. You try and hope something happens. You let her borrow your sweater. You let her borrow your hoodie, because that's what she likes. You're like, all right, well, maybe this will make something happen. You go over, you hang out, you play a little Wii together, you play some Mario Kart. You think maybe this will unlock it. I don't know. Yes, I am speaking from experience, so shut the hell up.
This does sound this sounds deeply personal, Kevin. This sounds deeply personal.
That's kind of how it goes. And then finally you just take that deep sigh and you're like, all right, I got to let this go. I have to unmoor myself from this and just drift alone for a little bit. And that's what it's going to come. It will eventually come to that with Jameis.
Here's how is it going to come to that before the Saints fly back from London?
I kind of wish it would have happened. Look, I wish it would have happened during this game, but
damn.
But again, that's what I predicted. And hey, he managed to look okay for a few stretches. I mean, Olave had a killer game. A lot of people wanted to try and attribute that.
I get full credit for that. I traded Olave in the Saints Happy Hour Children's League. I traded him away.
Well done.
Small bro stink
Ralph.
is off of him. Boom, done.
Nice of you to step up.
All right. Well, here's what I have to say. Look, I said this after the preseason game that Andy Dalton played. Andy Dalton really has his entire career. He's been on crappy to not so crappy teams. He's never been on a team, I think, that has had anywhere near as talented a roster as the Saints do now. And I honestly think that it's possible that he could be more than serviceable. But even now, I think again, we've got a great defense. The Saints have a great defense. They've got a decent offense.
Is
all we need? All mediocrity, and Jameis even at this point. The talk always used to be Jameis is mediocre at best, but when he's really good, he can be really good, and his ceiling is high.
I'd like to see
that. Honestly, we've gotten to the point now that has all been lowered. Now we've gotten to the point where he's kind of crappy normally, and his ceiling is just being mediocre. And we don't need somebody whose ceiling is mediocre. We need somebody whose floor is mediocre. And I feel like Andy Dalton's floor is mediocre.
If Andy Dalton is a relationship woman,
I just think if we're playing the odds, I think just mathematically, just odds. I just think
Andy Dalton is the frumpy girl. Andy Dalton is the frumpy girl, but she remembers your mom's birthday. She always shows up on time. She's dependable. Maybe she cooks good. Like Andy Dalton, he's like a 6, right, Andrew? Like if we're rating him on like a 1 to 10 scale,
maybe a 5. I think you see he's really a 5, maybe like a low end 5, but we're trying to talk ourselves into
I think this is a tough position for Dennis Allen to be in, because on some level I'm like, man, look, you can make a switch here and it doesn't have to be permanent. Like, give Jameis a couple weeks, right? Let him heal. Let Andy Dalton play. And look, if Andy Dalton tears shit up and he's awesome, I don't think that would happen. But like, if Andy Dalton is on fire and you go 2-0, like, of course you stick with him. But like, if he's just, he's playing okay, the team goes 1-1, like, you buy Jameis a couple weeks, you let him heal, and then you bring him back. And like, look, I wouldn't think that's that big of a deal. Like, they made Kamara sit in week 2 because of his ribs. Taysom Hill just missed the game because of his ribs.
Dalton, if they sat Jameis in London for whatever reason, and Andy Dalton won and had a quarterback rating above 90, and then he played in Seattle and had a quarterback rating above 90, and the Saints got to 3-2, Jameis is never seeing the field again. Like, right, there is no way.
But you literally contradicted what Andrew said.
But he shouldn't. He shouldn't see the field if Andy Dalton's playing that well. But my point here is, right now, the way he's playing, like, he's not effective on the field. And we have seen Jameis be more effective. So I do believe that if he can get healthy and heal, maybe he can be better. But right now, the way he's playing, physically, and we talk about this, does the mental affect the physical? Is the physical affecting the mental? Like, I don't believe that he can do it right now.
But what is causing the coaches who must know this, who must have this information? What is causing them to do this, to put Jameis out there?
Thank you, Cook Duke.
To not
make it. I will say this, Dave, and it's not just Jameis. That I think that's where Dennis Allen's in a tough spot here, because with everything that's happening on offense, and I'm not even offense. Like, Will Lutz is missing.
Oh, we'll get to special teams in a minute.
So like, Lutz is not cashing in on these field goals. You got Ingram, who's fumbled 2 weeks in a row. Then Kamara fumbles and it goes for a touchdown, right? So, and then offensive line is not picking up blitzes. Now, part of that's probably Jameis, but part of it is the offensive line not rotating over, not communicating. And then the penalties. I mean, my God, man, the penalties in this game were unbelievable. At one point, they have a false start. It's 1st and 15, and then Juwan Johnson false starts again. Back-to-back plays. They go to 1st and 20. Are you kidding me?
They had 9 special teams penalties all last year. They have 6 already.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I got to say, like, this looks like a team that has no discipline.
This looks like a Hazlitt team.
Everyone has their hands dirty here. Everyone does.
I think Hazlitt,
whether you're Pete Carmichael or Dennis Allen or Will Lutz or the special teams coach or the offensive line coaches, like, they all have to look themselves in the mirror and be like, how do we fix this? And so on some level, I think Dennis Allen's like, yeah, Jameis has sucked, but it's not like these other dudes on our team are killing it, and he's the only one holding us back. Like, to me, so far, it's been total system failure. And I mean,
look, then
who would you give a pass to? Michael Thomas, Chris Olave? Like that's about it. Those are the only dudes that have shown up. Well, I'm not talking about the defense. The defense is the only side. Like I'm not talking about that phase of the game because guys on that, those guys have played well.
I'll say
offensively and special teams, no one has freaking stepped up outside of Michael Thomas, who's now hurt, and Olave. That's it.
I'll say this based on everything you said. You're talking about being undisciplined. Ralph is bringing up the ghost of Jim Haslett.
It feels really Haslett.
What I'm saying is, if you extrapolate, if you're reading the tea leaves from everything that you guys are all saying, what I'm hearing reading the tea leaves is this is a Dennis Allen problem. This is a Dennis Allen head coach. Leader of the ship problem. This starts at the top.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And we know Sean Payton was
he ain't going anywhere.
We know Sean
Payton. It feels like shots
are
being fired right now at Dennis Allen.
Sean Payton was a huge attention to detail guy. And, I feel like Dennis Allen maybe a little bit less so. And look, I don't know. Like it's just three.
But here's the thing,
three games.
Here's the thing, though.
They could beat the brakes off the Vikings, and we're 2-2. So, we can't lose sight of that too.
Here's the thing, though, Kevin.
They can win this game.
I feel like there's something about bad offense that affects fans different. Because I watched the Saints have the worst defense in NFL history in 2012, the worst defense in history in 2014, one of the worst defenses in history in 2015. They fired Rob Ryan. And never at any point were we like, Sean Payton, they're undisciplined on defense. I don't know if he's a leader of men. I don't know what's happening on the defense. What's the problem? Like, offense affects fans, how we perceive the team in a different way. And I can't explain why it is, but it's just a completely different discussion that we're having with Dennis Allen about the offense than what we had with Sean Payton on the defense. Is that fair?
No, it's a very fair point. I mean, it's an offense-driven league. I mean, you get the random sickos who are outside the windows going, yes, yes. Whenever they see a 9-7 nail biter or something.
I am one of those sickos.
I will
out myself.
I would drink. I'll drink this all season if the Saints win 9-7. This is horrible.
But honestly, it is an offensive-driven league, and plus, I mean, when the Saints switched over to Breeze and Peyton, Ralph, me and you had this conversation all those years ago. We kept saying, hey, if they're competitive and lose, and they're competitive and they don't embarrass themselves and they score points,
it's fun.
We can deal with that.
Yeah, we can.
And that kept going. That was where the bar was set. And then they exceeded the bar. And even when the defense was perpetually letting the rest of the team down, it's like, yeah, we hated it and it sucked. But
there's a hopelessness.
Like, all right, the offense is still killing it. It also
there's a hopelessness with bad offense, I think.
It also helped that Sean Payton was an offensive coordinator. I feel like if the team takes on the personality of the coach, i.e., if you have a defensive-minded coach and you have a team that is getting either sacks or turnovers or stifling teams and forcing opposing offenses to go 35% or less on third down conversions.
I mean, Baker had 22 yards of passing first half. That's pretty freaking stifling.
You can sort of ride that and say, all right, our team's offense is dink and dunk, and if we let up 18 points or more on the opposing offense, then we're probably losing. But the problem is this defense and this offense, it's been sloppy, it's been erratic, it's been inconsistent, more so in the offense, but it's like we're not seeing enough to where we can feel comfortable, to where we can sort of just say, all right, we're just going to ride this out. If the defense was fucking solid, if the special teams
defense is solid.
But it feels erratic. It feels erratic.
Feel a little bit. It feels a little bit. The defense does feel a little bit sloppy. But Dave, to Kevin's point, the special teams, my God, what has happened? The Saints interviewed Darren Rizzi for their head coaching job, and he was a viable candidate, and the special teams were a disaster against Tampa, and they somehow got worse. Lutz had a kick block. He missed from 48. The kickoff returns were an almost calamity, more times than I can count. What is happening with the special teams?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just a guy. I don't really have an answer for you. I would say the kick blocks. That's not. Look, that guy came in unblocked. That's not Lutz's fault.
Yeah, no. But the guy that blocked it was, on the line. Like that was a low trajectory kick. That was absolutely.
There's no wind. There's no wind there.
No.
I don't know. Both misses were absolutely on Lutz.
Lutz, if he hadn't have made that kick against
how is this?
Would be like kicker tryouts, baby.
The guy that runs Lutz, in front of him, Dave, is not the guy that blocks the kick.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a guy in the middle that kind of puts his paw up and it hits his hand. Like
I hear you.
That should go over his hand every time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I really don't know.
Gilligan's trash too.
I'm not. What's his face? Who was the guy with the cane who found Taysom Hill?
But what is that? Dave, I guess my question is, I feel like the special teams being atrocious is a giant red flag for details and Dennis Allen being focused and having a team.
I wish this was not on the rundown. On the rundown was not. This wasn't supposed to be the crap on Dennis Allen episode. This was supposed to be the crap on Jameis Winston episode. But it's turned into the crap on Dennis Allen episode, for better or for worse, whether you like it or not. Okay, so I'm unprepared. But if I was being prepared, and if I knew that this episode was going to be the crap on Dennis Allen episode, I would have gone back to this offseason when the Saints decided they were going to go with Allen, because I'm almost positive that you can find a soundbite of me saying Dennis Allen is a great defensive coordinator. He has a great mind for that. I don't know whether he's already been a head coach before. It didn't work out that well. I don't know whether Dennis Allen has
strong nipple game.
The ability. Yes, he qualifies.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
Again, I said, I don't know whether he's a leader of men, and I don't know whether this is absolutely right. Just like we got spoiled with Drew Brees and his not only just raw talent and ability to throw the ball, but also, like we were talking about earlier, his knowledge, what he does at the line, calling out protect audibles, that kind of stuff. And in the same way, I think we weren't realizing how much Sean Payton, his attention to detail, how much those little things really go. Little things go a long way. And
so when you're saying is when Sean Payton screams, Sean Payton screams at an intern that there's 27 Sharpies in the bin instead of 26, it matters.
Look, I run my own business too, and I'm particular about certain things. If there's a reason that there should be 27 Sharpies in that bin, then yes, there should be 27 Sharpies in that bin. And if Dennis Allen is not the kind of who makes sure, and okay, I'll say this. We all know this. This is a fact. People were afraid of Sean Payton, for better or for worse. He was like that militant father who was in the army, and like
keep the building uncomfortable.
Yes, and maybe you're never gonna love him. Maybe he's never gonna give you a hug, but you know that it's
Andrew,
your success. You know that it's going to lead to success.
Your sources, what are they saying about the building? Is it uncomfortable? Are they people surly? Like, what's the vibe in the building?
I mean, look, I told you this before. I feel like there's more information out there than ever before. There's not this tight lid that I felt like there was when Sean Payton was in the building. There's just more being shared. So, yeah, I agree. I think people are less scared in the building. I think there's this less like this healthy discomfort or whatever you want to call it. Look, I think I got to say this, guys. we're being a little too hot takey for my taste. Like,
no, we're not.
The team is 1-2. They've looked awful. I've seen a lot of teams look awful and bounce back. Like, I'm not saying the Saints are going to do that because, like, there's not a lot to hang our hat on here. So I'm not necessarily hopeful, but I got to say, like, the
can't give
1-2. There's a lot of football left. There's a lot of time to figure this out. Now, right now, the way Jameis Winston is playing, in my opinion, we can't go forward with this. We cannot win with the quarterback playing this way.
Well, here's the thing. Budrich just put this in the Discord.
Going back to our earlier conversation, how many draft picks do we have to give the Cowboys to get Sean Payton back?
Budrich just put this in the Discord. You should be in the Discord. Become a patron. It's amazing. The starting quarterbacks with a worse rating than Jameis. Matt Ryan. That's a little surprising. Justin Fields. He's the worst. Mac Jones. Davis Mills. Joe Flacco, Mitchell Trubisky. That's is a murderer's row of freaking terrible.
That's it. That's the list.
Hey, Super Bowl champion Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah. Super Bowl champion a decade ago, Kevin. A decade ago.
Yeah, but do any of those guys have broken vertebrae in their back?
Mac Jones has a high ankle sprain. Here's the thing I want to say. Dennis Allen talked about the wide receivers, and I'm in full-blown panic about it.
Hold on. It really what Andrew just said really annoys me. Andrew is making excuses for Jameis Winston. Look, you want to make excuses for Jameis Winston, that's fine.
How am I making excuses? He sucks. I'm telling you, he sucks.
You said he's playing. Okay, fine. You're not making excuses.
I just told you I want Andy Dalton. I want to make the switch.
And then you're attributing Jameis Winston's crappy play with his injury, which means, again, I can't get over this. I can't let this go by. That means that, like, this is poor coaching then. You can't tell me that, like, an injured Jameis Winston is our best option. That's terrible.
They should have made him sit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is
hindsight 2020, but, like, and I'm not a doctor, so, like, I don't know when he breaks that, you know, he crosses that line where he goes back to being better than he is right now. So I don't know when that is, but I know it hasn't been the last 2 weeks.
Well, Dr. Thomas was nice enough to join us on the Spaces last Wednesday, and he flat out said Jameis needs to sit. But I want to talk
for how long?
I want to talk.
How long? For how long, Ralph?
I don't know, until Andy Dalton can play and play well and we can all have ginger fever and celebrate. I don't know. Like, Jameis is not good. I'm out on Jameis. I wrote it in my WWL column today. Like, Jameis is never going to be that dude. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with the Saints for Jameis as a long-term answer at quarterback. Jameis is never going to be a long-term quarterback for anyone ever again.
Like I said this on Discord, it has been 8 years. Name me another quarterback in the NFL who has been playing for 8 years that people still think that people still say, oh, he just needs a better, just something needs to change, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's unheard of. It is unheard of.
It is.
Any other quarterback that has been in the league for 8 years and been mediocre, everybody would have given up on. That's the reason Andy Dalton is where he is now, because for 8 years he played mediocre and never did a damn thing. And it's like, it's crazy. It's
right, but we're stuck with these guys this year.
We're stuck, right?
So, like, I mean, I think we can all agree that whether it's like getting a new quarterback or drafting a guy, like, something's got to change next year. But, like, for this year, your choices are Andy Dalton, Jameis, or I guess Taysom. Like, those are your choices.
I still think I see a change this. I think you can still see Andy Dalton play in London. And I'll say this: I said it last week. Watch what the Saints do, not what they. Again, they were so willing to go out and get Deshaun Watson. There is no way they could be that in love with Jameis, and therefore
is Dave's video and audio terrible?
Dave's video is falling apart faster than the Saints.
It's Monday, so listening to Dave.
But here's my other
internet quality is
I'm getting
bordering on Saints offense level.
Here's my biggest
Super
concern besides Jameis is the injuries are piling up, and I feel like we're getting close to the point of no return and the injuries tipping the season into the abyss. Dennis Allen talked about the wide receivers. Thomas, play that video.
Mike injured a toe. Jarvis injured his ankle. Looks like Traquan had a concussion. We were really down to, kind of at the end there, we were really down to 2 receivers. So we'll have to evaluate to see where everybody's at and how significant the injuries are and see where we go from there.
Mayday! Mayday! Mayday!
Mayday? What the hell is that?
Mayday? Why, that's the Russian New Year. We'll have a big parade and we'll serve hot hors d'oeuvres.
I mean, things are going bad. Things are going bad at receiver. I'm just saying. I'm
not expecting the airplane clip.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah,
Ian
picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah, picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
I believe Ian Rappaport today had some injury news updates on Landry.
Joey, have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
And Mike Thomas.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Landry, I'm trying to actually be serious and give actual football knowledge here, and the 3 of you guys are doing airplane quotes.
You like gladiator movies, Dave?
So apparently Landry's injury is not that bad, which is great because he looked terrible. He could barely even walk during the game when he walked off the field, and apparently that's a foot injury. And then this is what I didn't get. They were saying they were optimistic about Michael Thomas's injury. It was a toe injury, but they were optimistic because it wasn't on the foot as where he had the ankles. That doesn't make sense to me, honestly. If you've already got one bum ankle/foot, I'd rather you just keep injuring that one and leave yourself with one healthy
one.
Now you have
I think this is really resonating with Ralph.
It is. See, that's the thing. I agree with Dave. I agree with Dave.
Now Michael Thomas has 2 bad feet.
Yeah, that's it. I agree totally with Dave.
And that's when I started my drinking
happen to me, just the left arm, the left leg, that totally destroy the left side. Like, just make it worse. I just need to be fully functional on the right side.
Media was
Dave, you're 100% correct.
That's what I'm saying. The media was like, "Oh, good news! It's on the other foot as the high ankle." No, keep screwing up the other
Kevin.
foot. Screwing up the other foot.
Surely Dave isn't serious.
Surely,
Kevin, come on, Kevin.
He is serious. But don't call him Shirley.
Well, come on. This is a podcast.
Nice.
Anyway, you know what? I did want to say, though, I am actually now back on board the Jameis train because I saw that he's thrown 5 interceptions in 3 games. That's an average of 1.66 interceptions per game. So if you extrapolate that out over 17 games, he will throw 28.3333 interceptions.
You guys want to? Since we're talking about stats, you guys want to hear another cool stat?
So I'm back.
Do you know how many points per quarter
69
the Saints are scoring when it's not the fourth quarter?
Dude, it's got to be
on average
20.
On average, points per quarter.
Like 2.
We're taking the fourth quarter out. 1, 2, and 3.
No, 20 total. So yeah.
All right. So Kevin, you're at 3.2.
I'm going with
it's less than that, Kevin.
I'm going with 2.7.
2.7. What you got, Ralph?
Like 1.3, 1.4,
1.44.
Oh my God, Jesus!
They are averaging 1.44 points.
It's 13 and 12 quarters, right?
Almost want to vomit.
13 and 12.
Thomas.
Gotta get
13 and 9. 13 and 9.
13 and 9.
Gotta get a ham on 5. Hold the mayo.
13 points in 9 quarters. If the Saints get shut out this week through the first 3 quarters, it'll be 13 points in 12 quarters.
Oh my God! Fire Jameis into the. They need to fire Jameis at that asteroid to test it to see if they can bump it off.
I mean, but look. I mean, we want to blame Jameis, and I think that's fair. But again, dude, they were at the 19-yard line without that Mark Ingram penalty, and then they end up punting there. And Will Lutz misses a couple kicks, and Mark Ingram fumbles from the 2-yard line against Tampa or whatever it was. Like,
well, that's the thing. That's the thing, though,
again,
Dave.
like it goes back to this total system failure. Like, trust me, I am not making excuses for Jameis.
But that's a great question, though, Andrew.
He sucks.
What?
No, I want to
ceiling when they don't step on rakes. Like,
well, no, I don't know. I want to address what Andrew said. I want to say this. Even if it's not all his fault, even if none of it was Jameis' fault, it's optically, it's still easier to just make the change at quarterback. I mean, first of all, if you're Dennis Allen, you're like, it could be either him or me. So I might as well make the change. But I honestly think just for the fans, even if it's not all Jameis' fault, I think that I think the second you change, you get rid of Jameis, Andy Dalton in, and maybe you want to wait as long as you can to do that. But I think you just make Jameis kind of the sacrificial lamb. If that's fair or not.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. Like, I got to be honest, Dave. Like, I'm on board with that. Like at some point, you like whether it's a good idea or not, you just gotta. You're flatlining, and you just need the paddle.
You have to arrange the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Right, like you may already be brain dead because you flatline for too long, right? Sure. And even if you come back to, you may have had a massive heart attack where like you'll never be the same. But at this point, we need the paddles because we flatline offensively. Right. And so like on the other side of it is Andy Dalton, and like, dude, here's the thing: I don't think Andy Dalton's going to be any good. I'm not excited about Andy Dalton. There's no part of me that's like, man, Andy Dalton's going to save us. Like, at best, Andy Dalton is not going to blow it, right? And, like, I just have to hope that the offense on the other side is not good enough to score a bunch of points and that our defense is playing just well enough that if Andy Dalton doesn't turn it over and on 3rd and 3, he checks it down to a wide open Alvin Kamara down the middle of the field for 4 yards to move the freaking chains. Like, he'll make that throw. And like, I just have to hope that like with Andy Dalton at quarterback, we score 7 points in the first 3 freaking quarters.
Horse shit ball carrying. I know that. Horse shit.
I should have played that earlier with the Kamara fumble. I apologize. Kevin, though, I was thinking of this. If Jameis is bad in London, we are going to have, for the first time for many Saints fans in their Saints fandom experience, a crowd going to the Superdome against Seattle where they are like, fuck our quarterback. We want him gone. And you're going to have a really, really surly, angry crowd, right? And they're going to be out for Jameis's head. And we haven't had that in a generation, potentially.
No, but I mean, it's that or Kirk Cousins.
Oh my God.
I mean,
dude, I'm gonna save this for the hot take, but like, I'm just gonna say this real quick. I miss Teddy. I mean, do you guys remember when he was 5-0 and he wasn't even playing that well? Like, he wasn't having great games, but I remember the dome, the whole freaking dome, going, Teddy, Teddy, Teddy. Like, I had goosebumps, and he was winning games, and he was doing bike life, and he was showing up to the 9th Ward in a freaking U-Haul and giving kids bikes and video games, and like, he was a freaking, and he was going to local stadiums and doing the same dance as the cheerleaders.
Yeah, he was.
I miss Teddy Bridgewater. I miss bike life. Dude rode a freaking bike to the Superdome. Give me that dude. That's who I want. I don't even care if he sucks. I want Teddy Bridgewater. If I'm going to go down in flames, I'm going to go down in flames with Teddy. That's who I want, Ralph.
Yeah.
Making it rain.
So, for people who are new to the podcast, and we have a lot of new listeners, we're setting records. We're going to do...
Thank you, Cajun Sands.
We're probably going to do over 55 to 60,000 views of all our content on Saints Happy Hour and the YouTube channel, the podcast, all of it. It's amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. We love it. But you got to be an old school Saints Happy Hour listener back in the days of 14, 15, and 16 to remember the Dave Cariello panic meter. And Dave, the panic meter is back. We brought it back because the Saints are 1-2. They are a disaster. They are a turnover machine. We had Thomas create a graphic for us.
I didn't know we were going to have a graphic. Honestly, I think this should be renamed. I don't think panic is the right word. Honestly, like now I would call it like the Dave Cariello like pissed off meter. I think honestly, because I don't know. I'm not that panicked anymore that they're losing it. I'm annoyed. I'm mad. I'm angry.
I have to say, I pay more attention to Dave's level of panic because Ralph is like
always at severe.
He's at a 10.
I'm at severe and I break off the knob.
Right. You know, like there's clouds in the sky and Ralph is like, oh my God, the Saints are losing by 50. You know, so Ralph's panic meter is always cranked up.
Andrew muted me. I
muted Ralph.
He muted. He's like, dude, I'm done with you.
Twitter?
He muted me when it got to be 7-0 Panthers. He's like, I'll talk to you after the game.
I'll tell the story real quick. When the Panthers stripped Kamara, they picked up the fumble and they scored. Ralph texts me, "That's ball game. That's ball game. Game's over."
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
I'm like, Ralph,
I wasn't
dude,
wrong.
like he wasn't wrong. But I'm just like, you are so fucking negative. Like, I can't take it anymore. Like, you always do this. Like, the sky is falling when one bad thing happens. I'm like, I'm watching this game and I'm muting you. Like, I'm not.
Ozman says, Ralph, you're an active volcano spewing lava all the time. Accurate.
They say opposites attract, and I think that's why you guys have become best friends over the last 12 years through this podcast. You guys are like the odd couple. What were their names?
Felix and Oscar.
Yeah, Felix and Oscar.
Well, actually, I was gonna ask which one of you is Paula Abdul and the other one is the cartoon cat.
DJ Scat Cat.
I think I'm Paula Abdul.
Is Scat Cat is Scat Cat crippled? Does he have cerebral palsy?
No, you
arm?
could be
one good paw.
No,
I guess.
No, okay, crippled. So Ralph could be Timmy, and Andrew could be Cartman.
It's terrible.
No, this is good. So now we have an actual panic meter here that I can look at and give my opinion.
Where are you at? Are you at elevated, high? Or
I am. No, you nailed it right off the
I know
bat.
you're not at guarded. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we've got low. So this is a five levels. We've got low, guarded, elevated, high, and severe. Official meter. This is the official meter. No, I would say right now I'm at elevated, and the only reason I'm not higher.
Whoa.
And the only reason I'm not higher is elevated is in the middle. But the only reason I'm not higher, I think, is because, like Andrew said earlier, it is only week 3. And
I thought that pissed you off.
I'm not going to be what?
I thought you were like, Andrew,
I'm
pissed off.
Dave is too quick to accept the Saints' terribleness.
No, I'm pissed off.
He was angry last week. Now he's over it. He's like, it's so done.
I'm pissed off that we're saying that Jameis Winston is playing injured and we're not, and we're giving coaches a
Kevin, where are you on the Dave Cariello panic meter? Where are you?
I'm probably in the middle as well. Also elevated, but
cowards.
What do you? It's a made-up panic meter.
You need to be severely panicked. Severely.
The other reason I'm not severe. The other reason I'm
ashamed of all of you.
Ralph was at severe. See, Ralph is the kind of guy that was at severe after the Saints beat the Falcons and were 1-0.
That's right.
And then they lose a couple of games, and he's like, "See, I told you. I freaking told you."
I'm never wrong. I'm only early. Andrew.
The only other reason I would be at I would be at elevated is because I really and truly think that Jameis has a very, very, very short leash, and I do think that they will make a change at quarterback.
They're gonna make him take a boat back from London.
Jason Champagne has an amazing comment in the chat. He says that if the Saints offense was Paula Abdul, it's painkiller American Idol Paula, not Forever Your Girl Paula.
Oh, that's 100%. That is 100%.
That is an incredible comment.
End stage
and
Paula
accurate.
Abdul.
Yeah. Between Forever Your Girl references and airplane clips. Like, we are going full 80s today.
We are
top notch.
Top notch.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think, and look, the Saints lost. They were offense was a disaster, but I do feel like, Andrew, the defense was incredible. Baker Mayfield had 22 yards passing. Carolina had 81 yards of offense in the first half. And the Saints defense, I'm not sure if it's good because Carolina's offense sucks, Tampa's offense sucks, and Atlanta's offense is slightly below average. But I mean, the defense, they did everything you could want. They gave up one play. That's all they did.
Yeah.
You got sacks. You didn't get turnovers, but you got sacks. You held McCaffrey in check. The defense is still very, very good.
Yeah, they're still good. McCaffrey had a weird stat line. He rushed for over 100 yards, but like, I don't know. I feel like there were a lot of plays where they stuffed him. It wasn't like Patterson in week 1 where I felt like he was getting 7 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards. Like I felt like Patterson was gashing the Saints. McCaffrey, like, yeah, he had a couple big runs, but like I just felt like for the most part they kind of controlled him. They kind of shut him down. Yeah. He was able to move the ball maybe between the 30s, but they would lock in, and when there was short yardage situations, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, I feel like they would try to run them, and the Saints would blow it up. One guy that we really haven't talked about much, I just want to mention his name real quick. 2 guys. Pete Werner might be the best player on the Saints right now. He's my highest graded through 3 weeks. And I like, if I had to hand out an MVP award right now to the Saints, it would be Pete Werner.
Can I guess number 2?
He is playing some you can. He is playing some incredible football. And I just, like, it's great to see, because I feel like DeMario has declined a little bit. Like, he still has the strength. He doesn't have quite the speed. He missed a couple tackles in this game that I've seen him make, open field tackles, maybe 2 years ago. So, but DeMario can still play, but Pete Werner, it's just good to see a young player step up. And Dave, who do you think is the other guy?
I would say for me, and I think for you, I'd say Marshawn Lattimore.
So Lattimore held DJ Moore to 1 catch for 2 yards. And I just think, like, Lattimore freaking erased a really, really good receiver. So Dave, that's a great call. And he's playing really well. But the other guy I'm going to point out is Shy Tuttle. We're not really talking about him much.
Yeah.
But he led the team in tackles last week.
Deception! Matt Ryan! Oh mein Gott! Wie eine Puppe gibt ihn den Stiffer ab und er fliegt auf den Boden. Hör doch mal auf.
But
I know, Ralph. Great minds.
Shy Tuttle has played some really great run defense. He's racking up the tackles. He's disruptive. He's eating space. He's holding blocks. Like, you go back and you watch the tape and you're just like, man, Shy Tuttle is involved on every single play when they make a run stuff. And that's 2 weeks in a row he's been doing that. So
thank you,
Pete Werner, Lattimore, Justin Evans is another guy I'll throw out there. I thought he had a very good game. So there's a lot of guys stepping up on defense, and it's not your usual suspects, which has been really cool.
Kevin, the defense, how many more weeks can they sustain this if the offense remains terrible? I mean, there comes a point where they'll just be like, God damn it, this offense. Like, how many more weeks do you think the defense can maintain this high level of play, care, focus, all of it, if the offense continues to suck? I worry about it.
4, maybe 5. I mean, if the Saints are 3 games under 500, 4 games under 500, they're dead last in the division, and it's looking like they would need a goddamn what would you call? What do you call that? A over the top elaborate machine to occur. not a Gutenberg machine, like Rube Goldberg. They would need a Rube Goldberg type machine to eliminate the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Bucks in order for them to actually contend for the division title. You get those sort of things happening. The defense is going to check out. And again, like I said, 4 or 5 weeks.
By the way, the Bucks play for all the people in Florida. They got a serious hurricane bearing down on them. They're thinking about they're going to move the Bucks Kansas City game. They shouldn't move it to Minnesota. They should move it to New Orleans because the Saints are in London, and it can give New Orleans a second chance to boo Brady against Mahomes and the Chiefs. They should do that.
Wait, I have
Dave, you would go to that game and boo the crap out of Tom Brady, wouldn't you?
No, actually I wouldn't.
You wouldn't go see Brady and Mahomes?
On Sunday.
Shut up.
I mean, if I'm being realistic, I already have plans for Sunday that I don't think I can break.
All right.
Wait, I wanted to say this.
I love my wife. My wife.
No, it has nothing to, maybe, I don't know what it has to do.
My wife.
I got a golf tournament in the morning, and then I got a Saints game because I'm not in the morning.
No, the Saints game is at like 9 a.m., right?
8:30.
I'm playing golf in the morning, and I have to come home and then rewatch the game. I don't have any time to go see Mahomes Brady. Fictional world that you've set up.
You're missing the Saints game on Sunday.
I will be missing it live. Yes.
You're a terrible fan.
All right. Anyway, I was going back to the defense conversation.
That's so Kevin of you.
It is.
I mean, I will have my phone, and I do have YouTube TV. Maybe I will watch it while I'm playing golf.
Kevin is here every week and using my DirecTV
You're the me
to watch.
This year.
He's watched more Saints games than you this year.
Going back to the defense.
Kevin, you have to watch it live so that on the podcast you can be like, now, Dave, did you watch the game yet?
Going back to the defense, I looked up the numbers before we got on the podcast tonight. I was looking at the stats. They're like middle of the road, to be quite honest with you. I mean, they're not like top 5, top 10, even not even top 10, I don't think. They're middle of the road, but obviously they've been doing a great job of keeping the team in the game all these last 3 weeks. My question is kind of like the offense, where like the defense has always had to play from behind. So like, does that make it harder for them? Just like when the offense,
I think it makes it harder.
Like the defense has never had a chance to play with a lead, and to just really kind of smother and to maybe pin their ears back and be aggressive. So So like I'm saying, like on paper, technically, we all think they're doing great, but honestly, they're not really that great. They're mediocre,
I feel like the defense is hanging on
a chance to shine
for dear life. The defense is hanging on, trying to keep the Saints in these games. Like they're like a man hanging off a cliff with one arm. But if they could play with the lead, they'd be better. You could get sacks, you get turnovers. Honey Badger could get loose.
Right. So I would say they're getting zero help from the offense, and they're still doing a pretty damn good job. So just think of how good they could do if they actually could play with 7, 10, 14, 21 point lead. The other thing, going back to what Andrew and I were kind of agreed on as far as like changing out Jameis Winston, putting Andy Dalton in just for the sake of change. I don't wonder if that would help. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, maybe like does that like change? Does that change the locker room? Does that get people?
Well,
does that give them renewed vigor? Does it help the defense?
I think we're
a bad. You need to change the quarterback just to make sure the defense keeps playing well.
We're a bad quarter and a half of Jameis, Kevin, from I think the vast majority of Saints Twitter and Saints fans being like, "Get him off my TV." I don't care if it's his fault. I don't care. I want something different. I think we're about a quarter and a half from that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It helps that the team that they beat was the Falcons and that it was a collapse in the process.
Yeah. It was.
Like if it was the Bucks or the Panthers, more people are calling for Jameis, right. Even if it was the Panthers.
I honestly think it's the opposite. I think we only won that game against the Falcons because it was the Falcons. We didn't win that game. The Falcons pissed away and lost that game the way the Falcons always do.
That's what. But
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is that makes it more enjoyable that, the Falcons pissed the game away, the Saints capitalized and did whatever it was they needed to do to steal the game.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If Jameis also the other thing that Jameis has in his favor, and I noticed this in one of the comments, somebody was asking, who would you rather have, Jameis or prime Aaron Brooks? Listen, skills-wise, it's probably prime Aaron Brooks, but here's the reason why Jameis is going to probably skate just a little bit longer than maybe he should. As long as Jameis doesn't smile like a fucking idiot when he throws an interception or makes a dumb fucking play, he'll skate a little bit longer in my book,
that buys
and
him like
probably
3
in
more
some
weeks.
other people's books.
Like
the
Jameis throwing the tablet,
Jameis
walking away,
is to
buys
act
him like 3
lackadaisical or chuckle at his own stupidity. As long as he doesn't do that, I'd rather he throw a pick or do something inane and just walk off field like, I'd rather he do that than just, because that, throw in the towel. Get him out of there immediately.
Well, here's the thing. We got to get to, it's time for this week's hot take of the week on the hotline, sponsored by JLD Hot Sauces and Knives, but Kevin's going to do the read this week because I'm unprofessional.
No, hang on. God damn it. It's time for this week's hottest take of the week on the hotline, sponsored by JLD Hot Sauce and Knives. If you want award-winning hot sauce like Boot Jalokia or Reaper Madness Special Reserve, go to www.jldsharpsauce.com. They also have incredible jellies like palm and pepper. They also have an incredible selection of handmade knives for cooking, hunting, and outdoor needs. Go check out the zombie quartering cleaver and tell me it's not the best damn quartering cleaver you ever saw in your entire life. Put that on The Walking Dead. Jerry Embler is a tremendous supporter of Saints Happy Hour. So we are asking you to support the people who support Saints Happy Hour. Go to www.jldsharpsauce.com to get the best hot sauces and knives at the best prices. Use promo code Saints Happy Hour and get 10% off. That's www.jldsharpsauce.com.
My God, I am so bad at the reads. I hate you, Kevin.
Kevin, you're way better than Ralph at that.
Here's
the shit.
This week's
hot beer. I didn't go to pee.
This week's hot takes from the hotline.
When Tomas chimes in, it's from the top rope.
It is. It's just the people's elbow from the top rope. The hotline this week, people are mad as bleep. The uncensored hotline is 14 minutes long. If you become a patron, you can listen to the uncensored hotline in all its glory. It is amazing. The Game Ball called us, and even Jim Mora himself chimed in. This hotline is a tour de force of drunken anger. Thomas, hit the hotline. It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour hotline.
With my life on the line, if I had to choose between Ralph pronouncing every player on the team's name correctly or Jameis Winston completing a drive for the Saints in 2022, I'm rolling with Ralph. This offense it's unbearable to watch. I wasn't a fan in the Aints days, but I'm really curious, guys. Is this how uncomfortable it was, or was it even worse? Because I just feel bad for our defense the whole time.
It was even worse.
This down. We got a sack, and we hit Olave on a deep ball in the same quarter. Can't believe this shit. I've been a Saints fan now I remember every game pretty much since '89. And I think this now is the biggest disparity between what I thought we were going to be and what we are. I mean, I thought we had a great chance to go deep into the playoffs, and now we're making Carolina look like world beaters.
Hey guys, I'm the Game Ball from today's game, and I was hoping y'all could get a message through to Alvin Kamara. most of the time when guys are going into traffic with me, they hold me with two hands. I think that's something that y'all are taught when you use me. But anyway, sucks what happened. And, you know, I was really enjoying that kind of fourth quarter where, what's your quarterback, Winston? Yeah, he was really humming me through the air. That was nice. Until he threw me into, like, triple coverage to the most obvious receiver on the field with the game on the line. But, hey, I'm just a game ball. I got to go. They're giving me away to Matt Rule, who's crying like a little bitch because he's never had an NFL game ball before. Anyway, good luck on the next game, guys.
The Saints' offensive line is garbage. I'm tired of watching Jameis run for his life. Ruiz and Hurst are garbage. Pete is playing down to this terrible Carolina team. It's only halftime, and it's already looking horrible. This game's only going to get worse. I'm not an optimist the way this is going.
Remember when Plaxico Burress shot himself in the thigh on accident and then had to go in jail because of that? That's kind of the Saints right now.
Man, I don't know. I mean, this sounds like a repeat of what I did last week. But seriously, at this point, all of my preseason optimism about the Saints this year in the fucking toilet. It is horseshit. Just total fucking garbage. We look awful. We look absolutely awful. I mean, we can't do anything against the Panthers. Seriously? Halftime, we're down. I mean, this is fucking awful. And you know, the only good thing about it is I've got all of you guys with the Saints Happy Hour Discord channel to keep me sane. Love you guys. Who dat?
Well, I don't have much of anything positive to say about this team right now. I thought our offense was painful to watch last year, but I'm kind of pining for those days right now. It's pretty sad. And also, I swear if Jameis Winston comes out after this game in his presser and says, I'm going to do better, I'm going to be better one more time, I'm going to punch somebody in the face.
Hey, it's not Heath Schuler. I don't call the hotline very often, but I couldn't resist today. What we've watched the last 3 weeks is it's offensive. And in the least offensive way an offense can be. What I saw today, I don't know who exactly to blame it on. But I do know that Jameis at this point looks like Ralph trying to juggle bowling pins. It's not working.
Jesus.
It's terrible.
Oh my Jameis. Oh my God, my f***ing liver. I'm taking donations for a transplant, guys. This shit's unwatchable. We can't even bring in the red rifle. Didn't think about bringing in the red rifle. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. It sucked. We sucked. We couldn't stop them. We're throwing fucking fumble sixes. Oh my God. And then to seal the deal, the son of former Saint Joe Horn phones in an interception to end the game. Oh my God, am I depressed. This is the abyss, fellas. I don't know if we can come back from this. We might not win another fucking game. Playoffs? What do you mean playoffs? We're not going to win another fucking game with this shit. Oh, champagne out.
I know this will never get played, but I just wanted to say
it's getting played.
You guys are at your best when the Saints lose. So at least, at least there's always some silver lining. This is like the best show. I love it.
He's hammered.
Angry. Melting steel. Telling great jokes and terrible jokes. Beautiful.
The hotline is
melting steel.
Melting. I have to say, we failed this show. We should have played this at the top.
Well, what happened was that game we got our ass kicked. In the second half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to.
That's Jim Moore that's his last game as Saints coach where the Saints got hammered in Carolina.
Where are we sure that wasn't an interview on Sunday?
Probably.
Are we sure about that?
Dennis Allen should have came out at his post-game press conference and just played it on a loop.
I mean, that's the thing is like Dennis Allen would never say that. He would never sound like that. I don't know whether Dennis Allen. That's what I'm saying. You're agreeing with me. I'm saying I don't know whether Dennis Allen can command a room like that.
Well, speaking
I thought the offense was sick people, sick.
Speaking of commanding a room, Thomas, hit the finger guns. We got to get to the questions.
Absolutely freaking sick.
Mentally sick.
Will Lutz and Gilligan, they ain't taking shit to the top. They're going to get cut if they keep playing like they're playing.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
request removed.
Morton Anderson was on Pardon My Take, and he mentioned this song. He briefly mentioned this song.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, actually, you know what's funny? He did. He said he was like it's kind of making a comeback, and I think he was referring to the song. And I'm like, wait a minute, this song is not making a comeback. If you've heard the song in the last 10 years, it's because you've listened to this podcast. So then I was like, maybe he knows about our podcast.
Maybe he does.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious about this.
Hey, maybe you guys ought to pay the Great Dane $500 to do a new intro because we need a new goddamn intro in the rotation.
That's
and
right.
maybe get the Great Dane to mention me in the intro.
There you go. Maybe.
I'm gonna go back and see if I can.
If you watch the game live on Sunday, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find that audio and give it to you guys, and you tell me if you interpreted it the same way that I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, come on. Question.
Let's go. Let's get these questions, Thomas. Let's go.
Come on, Thomas.
Okay, first question from Biloxi Blues. How long does the Dennis Allen honeymoon period last before he gets held accountable for the terrible play of this team?
I told you this, Ralph. I told you that Saints fans, like if they started 0-3, right now they're 1-2, but I told you if he starts out of the gates and he stumbles, they are gonna turn on Dennis Allen.
It's over.
So
it's funny, like this. Like I said before, like I didn't know this was going to be the episode where we just. That's it. We're done with Dennis Allen. I thought this was going to be the Jameis Winston bashing podcast, and we have just skipped over Jameis Winston. We're going right for the throat.
Well, I mean,
right for Dennis Allen.
I think we bashed Jameis well enough. We did.
No, we did.
I mean,
I like
the honeymoon's over for Dennis Allen.
Ralph on his wall, he has the fat heads of Jameis Winston, Dennis Allen, and Brandon Browner.
No, I have Andy Dalton, Olave. That's what I have.
He's got two Andy Daltons and an
I got
Olave.
two Andy Daltons because I got a double shot of the.
That's a pair. That beats a full house.
That's right.
And we thought Ralph hated gingers.
I do hate gingers.
I know, but not this ginger.
I hate Jameis more.
Yeah.
Next question.
Jesus.
Wait, we didn't answer the question. I think honestly we answered the question earlier in this entire podcast when I think the time is now. The time is now when people start questioning.
Okay, next question from Badrich. And Badrich asks, should we hire Drew Brees as an offensive consultant? Bark in Jameis's ear on blitz packages, at least.
No.
Do you think
Put him at
Jameis
quarterback?
Kevin, do you think Jameis being terrible at blitz pickup could drive Drew Brees to commit violence during a football game?
I'm sure Drew is laughing. He's laughing at home at this. I'm sure.
I hope Drew. Listen, I'll tell you what I hope Drew is doing, and it's got nothing to do with football. I hope Drew is minding his P's and Q's and not deciding, oh, you know what? I'm going to take $5 million from state funds and invest it in one of my kids' sports and build an arena on a playground or a high school or a future college campus.
Brett
I just
Favre
hope
is
Drew's
lucky
minded his P's and Q's and that in 10 or 15 years we're not having this conversation about Drew like we're having about Brett Favre. But here's the thing: if you bring in Drew as a consultant of any type and he is seen on camera once, the number of fans who are going to cry out for Drew Brees to get out of the booth or wherever he is, put on some pads, and go sling the pigskin around, it's going to increase 20-fold. If Drew ever is a consultant, he has to not even be in the building on game day. He just has to talk to Jameis beforehand, and that's it.
Dude, I'm ready to give him Pete Carmichael's job. I mean, just make Drew Brees offensive coordinator.
Pete Carmichael has strong, quiet quitting vibes. I think Pete Carmichael. I don't think Pete Carmichael. He doesn't want this job. He didn't want this job. He didn't want to be here. Like Pete Carmichael, I believe when you see his face, he's like, I should be on a beach somewhere waiting for Sean
Pete Carmichael just joined us.
Just saying.
Kevin with his glasses.
Pete, how do we turn the offense
Jameis,
around?
listen. Jameis, here's what I'm going to need you to do. We're down in the red zone. When the O-line just opens up and you see Alvin Kamara like 4 yards in front of you and he's wide the hell open, I want you to chuck it somewhere as hard as you can. But not to Kamara.
If I'm giving a realistic answer to this question, no, I don't think we should hire Drew Brees as offensive consultant. I think Drew Brees' talent was being able to do it. I don't necessarily know he can just teach that to James.
No, I think that's accurate.
Next question.
He's going to tell Jameis to invest into a pyramid scheme, guys.
Yeah, right.
Okay, next question.
Let me introduce you to my friend Kevin Hauser.
Joey P asks, are we Hazard level or Ditka level bad? And since the answer is Hazard, how long till we get to Ditka level?
No. Stop it. We're at early season Sean Payton level bad. Like bad Sean Payton.
Yeah.
It's funny. You guys were talking about this earlier. Like, I would be more worried if the defense sucked. Because
I'd be less worried because I know Dennis Allen can fix that.
Yeah, but my point is, Sean Payton, his whole career, like when the Saints were bad, basically 7-9, it was when the defense couldn't stop anybody.
Right.
Sean Payton always had the offense. Now, granted, it went backwards without Drew Brees, but I think the defense is playing at a good level, and Dennis Allen needs to be paired with a great offensive coordinator.
They had some early seasons under Sean Payton where the offense was hemorrhaging turnovers, and they started 0-4. 2007.
But I'm just saying, like, I think like Sean Payton is a great offensive coach, and he always needed that defensive coordinator to run that, whether it was Greg Williams or the 1 year Rob Ryan.
The Rob Ryan dead cat bounce.
Dennis Allen, whatever. Like the Saints' best years was when Sean was complemented by a great defensive coordinator. I think it's the same thing with Dennis Allen. He needs a great offensive coordinator to complement him, and that's not really happening right now.
It's going to be hard because if he gets a great offensive coordinator, they'll get a head coaching job like real fast.
We're thinking way ahead. Look, we're just trying to beat Minnesota here and go to 2-2.
How about this?
I will throw this out there. Like, if this season doesn't work out and you let Pete Carmichael go, I think you throw the playbook. I think you throw the playbook out. I think you
how about this?
You burn it and you bring in a new guy, the new system. You get a new quarterback, and you're just like, hey, you're running the offense now. This is your show, your playbook. We're gonna do what you want, and I think that's how they have to roll.
Yeah.
Next question.
Whew. Hang on.
What are we waiting on you for?
What are we waiting on?
Here's the playbook.
Ooh, Tecmo Bowl.
Oh,
Tecmo Bowl.
Right.
I like it.
8 plays.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. 4 runs, 4 passes.
Right.
That's it.
I would kill for a flea flicker right now.
I would. Little flea flicker.
We'd fumble it.
Little flea flicker to Marquez Callaway.
What
do we got?
Can we talk about that catch by Callaway for a second?
Yeah, can we talk about that catch? That catch was Marquez. Yeah, he was playing defense because it was going to get picked off, and he stuck his hand out there and got in the way before.
Jameis was 100% throwing that to Juwan Johnson, who was double covered, by the way.
Yes. Thank the baby Jesus that Marquez Callaway saw that and made a great defensive, offensive catch.
Do we really want to thank Jesus for that, though? Did it really matter?
It's just as important as anything else Jesus has ever done.
Yeah,
Jameis, he has so much YOLO energy in him, you can't contain it.
I hope you guys like my shirt. If you weren't at the live show, Dave made this shirt for me. It's Zach Streif falling down, failing to catch
Thomas, are we done with the questions?
Last one.
Ralph, you are the worst.
Hit us.
Last one from your boy Alan.
My boy?
He says,
my boy.
Good question. Bills fans have stupidly adopted jumping through tables as a tradition. What wrestling move or harmful action should Saints fans adopt?
The diamond cutter. I don't know what they need to do to get the diamond cutter, but diamond cutter would be it.
Wait, what do you mean you don't know what
I
they gotta do?
I don't know what you would do, like what they would do to sell it. Like, what would it be? It'd be like, this we need to do the diamond cutter. Like, what would it be? Like, maybe it's like not turn the ball over, and then we do the diamond cutter.
I don't know, dude. But my kingdom for an interception. Do the Saints have an interception this year?
They don't.
No,
they don't.
No.
Marcus May dropped one against Atlanta. That's about as close.
Jameis Winston is handing them out like they're candy on Halloween. And we can't get, we got the Honey Badger. We got Lattimore back there. We got Roby. We gave up a 3rd-round pick for. We got Marcus May's injured. But, like, where were the interceptions? Like, my kingdom for interception, I want 1 pick. 1!
Hey, kids.
Give me a Shy Tuttle.
Fat guy
pick.
Interception.
Yeah,
hey,
anything.
Kids. Handing out these interceptions. You want to turn over? Oh, those are crispy. Gonna put it in the fridge. Might enjoy it later. All right. I'll see you later on the next possession.
Looks like I picked the wrong week.
Don't make me beg now.
Wait, yeah, there you go. Wait, what was the question? You took the question down because I thought I had something to say about it.
I thought you were done.
It was just what wrestling move should Saints fans adopt?
Yeah, I did have an answer for this, even though I know this question wasn't for me because wrestling is for nerds. But
Kevin,
it would
put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Says the guy co-hosting a podcast.
It would have to be. I'm a Saints fan. I want to be the beneficiary of this. It would have to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, where you like drink the beer. Like I want to keep. I want to just be drinking beer. Yeah.
Oh shit. So what you do is you would hit the stunner, and then call off to somebody off to the side, and just like have them chuck beers over to you that you catch.
Sounds dangerous.
You pop the 2 of them open. Yeah. You smash them together.
Yeah.
And then
I can do that. I can get on. I can get on board with that.
Jason Champagne says special teams. Jason Champagne says that special teams is shit on a stick.
Actually, booking the territory is the best one right now. I hate everything right now. What wrestling move? The Von Erich thing, where we shoot ourselves from misery. That's also from the Ted Gregory playbook.
By the way, if you're a wrestling fan, you should check out Booking the Territory.
Speaking of misery, we have decided.
I love how Ralph just completely bypassed that comment.
I know. Yeah. Speaking of misery,
don't you want to give your boy Mike a little love?
Yeah, I mean, Booking the Territory. He's awesome. He's a patron. I'm a patron of Booking the Territory. They're awesome. We got drunk history plans. Me and Mike that we need to come through and do. We text each other all the time. We're like, we're gonna do this drunk history, and we never do it. But we will. It's off. Drunk history's off season.
Ralph lives in his own world, and the rest of
really
us.
does.
Are,
I seriously
we
like
just
wonder
live in it.
half the time, does Ralph even listen to what we're saying?
No, he's. I think I honestly like at this point, knowing Ralph is known Ralph and interacting with as much as we have, I put it at like 50%. Like he absorbs like 50%. The other 50%.
Oh, that's
just
generous.
bounces.
I can only do
Just
one thing at a
bounces off of him
time.
like a sun, like a windshield sun thing in a car.
Yeah, like I can do one thing at a time. So like I can like focus on like the rundown or
Making
listen
it
to
rain,
the podcast
rain.
or read the stream. I can't do multiple things at one time.
AJ Gaines 88. Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you. So I decided that the game picks, we need to heighten the drama. They need to have more stakes.
Okay, so there was a misunderstanding here on my part anyway. I don't know about everybody else, but go ahead.
So
Rob.
now I saw this Mountain Dew chart on Twitter where it's Mountain Dew flavors and you add liquor, and that's what I drank. I drank the Monster Mash. It was Mountain Dew and it was the Mountain Dew
check this out. Check this out.
It was the Mountain Dew Spark and Jack Daniels, and I said it tasted like the Saints played. But now we have this chart, and whoever wins.
Wait. We're gonna have to explain the chart to people that are only listening. Because
so
most people
the
listen
chart
to this
is
basically at the top. No, at the top, all of the columns are different Mountain Dew products: Voltage, Livewire, Code Red, Baja Blast. And on the left side are all the different spirits: vodka, tequila, rum, whiskey, wine. And so basically mix any two.
What am I mixing Crystal Head with? You just
Crystal
let me
Head
know.
tequila?
No, that's vodka.
Oh, vodka. So vodka. So basically, let's say if you mixed vodka with Code Red, that would be called a Bloody Cherry. Or if you mixed vodka with a Baja Blast, that would be called Gidget's Revenge.
Or Baja vodka and melon would be Kirby's Piss. My favorite is
all of them. The hard for the hard, whatever the hard. What is that? What's Mountain Dew Hard? Is that a product? Anyway, for all of those, they're all called "You've effed up." It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what liquor you mix with the Mountain Dew Hard. You made a poor.
I want an energy drink, right?
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this week, and I'm gonna make Dave next week. I'm gonna make him drink Mountain Dew Spark and tequila. It's called Farm Use Diesel. Or I might make Kevin drink Super Mario Moonshine, which is Code Red and whiskey.
All right. So first of all, okay, and going back, so this is why Ralph at the top of the show was drinking. What were you drinking?
Spark. I was drinking Spark and Jack Daniels Monster
Mountain
Mash.
Dew Spark and whiskey, which is the Monster Mash. Which that makes sense now because Spark is white and whiskey is dark, and your drink was like an orangish amber color. That makes sense. So, but where my misunderstanding was, and I don't know if or Andrew were on the same page as me. I thought we were just going to do this one time at the end of the season. Whoever won the season would just make the loser of the season just drink this one drink. I didn't know we were going to be drinking this every week and making ourselves.
Well, I need to know ahead of time so I can go to the store and buy what.
So
I don't keep any of these Mountain Dew flavors at home. I can promise.
Yeah.
So this is how it'll work.
And by the way, I'm picking wine for all of you. It's going to be wine and then whatever, because that is the
mixing wine and Mountain Dew.
OMG! Actually, you know what? Actually, you know what? I'm about to drop a little secret for all of you out there. Probably most people don't know this. Actually, if you do half cheap red, half Coke over ice, all over ice, it's actually not that bad. I'm not kidding.
We're gonna start next week.
I know. That sounds crazy. I am telling you.
I'm way too bougie.
All of you. No. All of you. I forget what it's called. There was a name for it. I learned this in New York City years ago. I am not kidding. You go try the kids. Go try this at home. Half red wine, half Coke. half and half over ice. Mix it up. It's actually not that bad.
Cali Matzo?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think we should call the voodoo and the tequila Drew's broken ribs.
All right.
But here's the thing: we're starting this week. Whoever wins
the
pick for this week, next week on the show, they'll get to pick before the show. They'll tell one of us, you have to drink this off the chart, and that'll be your drink for the week.
Well, who's the champion this week?
Well, this conveniently starts now, so I think I would have won, right?
No, there was a draw, man.
It was.
That's the thing. That's the good news is that like I think most weeks there's going to be a tie. We're all like going to get 0 points, or maybe it'll be like 1-1.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good chance for draws here.
Well, all right. So Andrew, you can go first. Pick Viking Saints.
Wait, but I want to know the results from last week.
Well, as you can see here, Dave, you have 3 points and you're in the lead.
You got 1 point.
That's the entire season.
You got 1 point.
By the way, Thomas, this is all still under protest because I didn't get a point for picking Jarvis Landry as the player of the game in week 1. And we all know he was the player of the game.
No, don't worry, man. Dave and Ralph picked Jameis last week as the third of the game, and I didn't give them points for that too.
That's a bunch of
That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That is a crap.
Hey, I'm gonna play the recording from Andrew earlier from the show. But
you
he
are?
said that it wasn't all about Jameis, man.
It doesn't matter. He's the scapegoat. He's the sacrificial lamb.
Plus, man, Jameis is the low hanging fruit, so he has to fuck up royally for
Abraham's
hanging fruit.
Abraham's son or whatever.
All right, so I'm picking the Saints to lose this one badly, 34-10.
Damn shocker.
I think the doors get blown off. Jameis plays. He plays awful, and we go to 1-3, and we go to Andy Dalton the following week. My turd of the game. We haven't really talked about this much on this show. I've seen in the chat. I've seen people mention this, but we really haven't talked about it. You know, a guy who I'm down on is the Honey Badger, Teron Matthew. He really has not played well. He's not lived up to the hype, and I think he's going to miss a couple tackles. He's going to give up a deep touchdown. That's my turd of the game.
God, I have to wait. We have to wake up early for this. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing golf. Let me know.
Not me.
I think Kirk Cousins just threw another touchdown. It might be 41-10.
What do you got? What do you got for us, Dave?
All right. Well, you know what? Andrew and I are, for the most part, I think we're kind of on the same page here. Saints are going to London. Obviously, I know the Vikings are going to London too. But we talked earlier about the coaching and attention to detail, and I don't know. I worry about a trip like this.
It's 2-0 in London. Just saying.
Yeah, but I'm worried about a trip like this. If the coaching, if we're lacking attention to detail here in the state. I'm more so worried about dealing with all the other details that go along with playing a game 7 hours away. So I don't see the Saints winning this. I mean, the Vikings, they pulled out a game last week. I've always been a little bit of a Kirk Cousins truther. I've always kind of liked him. I've always kind of liked him.
That's the most disgusting thing you've ever said on this podcast.
I know. So
Jesus,
going with the Vikings, and I think if I don't see any teams putting up 34 points on this defense. I don't know about that. That's too much for me. I think I said, what did I say? 20.
Let me help
Vikings.
You,
yeah, please. Vikings 24, Saints 13. I'd say that feels right to me. 13 points for the Saints, and. But again, Andrew and I, simpatico. I'm thinking in the secondary. I'm going turd of the game. I'm going PJ Williams. I think he's going to.
Dave, let me ask you, of those 13 points, how many of those are scored in the fourth quarter? All of them?
No, it's going to be 6. It's going to be 24-6 with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And they'll throw a garbage time. They'll hit Olave.
Yep. Sounds reasonable.
Olave Garden.
The Saints.
I'm taking the tour.
The Saints are going to have their best opening drive of the season. They're going to go up 7-0. Jameis is going to be 5 for 5.
I could see that too.
And then the entire roof of whatever soccer stadium they're playing in is going to collapse on them.
Where are they playing? It's not
Tottenham.
Tottenham, okay.
Tottenham.
I mean, it's an open air stadium,
The
isn't it?
Hotspur.
Is it? I don't
Is
know.
it open
Whatever.
air? I mean, most soccer stadiums in jolly old London or England are.
Doesn't it rain a lot? It seems not.
Honestly,
unwise.
rain might be the best favor we could get.
Vikings 27-7.
You said 10.
Third of the game. Jameis, Winston, Dalton, mop up duty in the fourth quarter. 27-10. Sorry. Thomas, lock it.
Oh, jeez.
In.
Okay, we get three opportunities to lock it in, right?
He's already done 2.
Yeah.
And Ralph has done 2, and it's week 4. Okay,
He's gonna lose a point.
It's week 4.
I'm sure.
Wait, you don't have the turd of the turd graph.
Jameis is the turd of
Jameis.
Okay, well there we go.
Low hanging
You're,
fruit. I'm not gonna give
you're
it to
really
you.
going out on a limb there, Ralph.
Right now.
Low
I
hanging
don't
fruit.
believe in the Saints until they prove to me they can stop shooting their dick off. I'm not going to pick them until they win.
Gentlemen,
shoot your dick off.
Kevin's going to pick the Saints, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes. This could guarantee victory.
Come on, Kevin.
For the Saints. This could do it. This could guarantee victory. For the
I'm
Saints.
not. Maybe it's the vodka. Maybe it's the Crystal Head. But I got to be honest.
It's the vodka.
I turned this in to Tomas earlier today, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling weird all of a sudden. Like the Saints might actually win this game.
It's the vodka.
I'm
that you're
starting to
drinking out
talk
of
myself
salt
into the
shape.
possibility here. Anyway, go ahead, Kevin.
You can still change it
Oh, here we go.
on Thursday when we do the preview show, right?
Yeah.
Probably not.
you drink any more of that vodka, you're going to be believing in UFOs and weird conspiracies like Mr. Ackroyd.
Can you start talking in Irish and give us a prediction, please?
All right. All right, hold your damn tongue. All right. So I'm not going to be singing about you-know-who in a box.
Lizzie's in a box. Lizzie's in a box.
But I'll tell you what is going to be in a box come Sunday. By about 11:05 a.m. in God's time zone, the Central Time Zone. The Saints' hopes and dreams. That's what's going to be in a box. I got the Vikings with 17 points. Saints 13. You're third of the game. And just fucking Pete. He's going to be surrendering sacks. He ain't going to be able to do anything. He's going to be a damn turnstile.
He won't play probably, man.
He might,
a damn
he might
disgrace.
play. He might
Even
play.
more of a reason that he's third of the game.
Good job. Good
Well,
job.
thanks for nothing, Andrews Pete.
Good job, Irish.
I like how he puts on the hat.
Right.
Like,
he's got it at the ready.
yeah, like
You-
it's a process.
We did not script this. That was not in the rundown.
That was not.
It's like a switch, like in that movie, Over the Top.
Yeah. By the way, Dave, that's a good segue. Also not in the rundown was the Tulane minute.
Yeah, let's talk about
Tough
that,
one.
Dave.
Oh my God. I don't know why I brought this up. I'm
Tulane,
just
if
getting
they don't
mad.
win 9 games,
Extrapolate on
they
that,
should
Dave.
run roughshod through that
I'm
conference.
getting mad all over again.
You know, Dave, I
Tulane-
noticed that the UNO is putting
Shut
together
up.
a
Just
football
shut up.
program.
They're not-
How long
they're
is
not
it going to
going-
take them to beat Tulane? How many?
I saw
how many
that.
years?
I saw that rendering of that stadium, and I'm not sure.
I'll
that
have
ever-
2
that
working
that
arms
ever
before
gets built.
UNO has a freaking football stadium.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Get
that
out of
it
here
ever
with
gets
that
built.
nonsense.
I think
That was
they're going to
the
go
conceptual
1-11 in their first season with a win over Tulane.
It was sad. I went to the game. You know, it's rough after beating. It's tough after beating Kansas State and seeing Kansas State go ahead and beat number 6 Oklahoma, which makes that win over Kansas State even that much better looking. And then you lay an egg at home. And look, I get it. I was expecting this. USM's head coach is Will Hall. He was our former offensive coordinator. He knew all the secrets. He knew how to beat us. This was a trap game. This had
We're
trap
up
game.
14-0 though.
I know, but this had trap game written all over it. But
I was lectured by Matty Hudak that if I didn't buy into Tulane, that I was irresponsible, that they're better than LSU, that if you live in New Orleans and you're sleeping on Tulane, that you're an idiot, that they're like the Pels, they're resurgent, blah blah blah.
I'll probably see
so Matty Hudak, shout out to you.
I'm excited. Me and Dave are going to the Tulane U of H game next Friday or Friday.
Andrew,
right, Dave?
Yes, Andrew. I'll probably see Maddie this weekend. So I was invited.
This is all her fault.
I'm gonna fly with the team on Thursday. Tulane plays Houston Friday night. I was invited to go with the team for pleasure, not work. I'm not even going for. So I'm gonna be there today. And Friday night for the game, and Ralph, I'm going to get Ralph and his family tickets. I'll be there, and I'm hoping Tulane rights the ship. You know, the USM, that was a trap game, non-conference game. We start conference play now. Houston, they were the preseason favorites to win the conference. They're looking not so good.
All right, we've
now,
had enough Tulane talk.
All right, here we go. Roll wave.
Dana Holgerson has a cloud.
Shut it down.
I still believe. Come on, baby. Roll wave. Let's go. The varsity.
So, everybody, thanks for joining the show. Thanks to everybody in the live chat. We're setting records in September.
The MVP.
Oh, the MVP. Who's the MVP?
Who's the MVP?
Cook Duke is the MVP. Watching
No.
Cook
Dookie. Cook Duke. Like
Cook Duke. Thank you. Congratulations. Send Thomas a video via the Discord, and we'll play it next week.
Budrich, you're gonna let him do that to you?
That's right.
You're just gonna let these guys walk all over you, Budrich? Huh?
Ark Midge is pumped about the Tulane 90 seconds, Dave.
Budrich was close, but not
come
close
on,
enough.
man. I mean, look, this is.
So everybody, thanks for listening.
I've got
to
a financial vested interest in Tulane. I wanted to be Christmas this year. From
Dave, are you gonna get ripping drunk at the game Friday?
No, probably Thursday night, the night before.
Ralph, Kevin, Jason Champagne wants to know how we're doing in Malta.
Terrible. Malta's a disgrace. Malta's more of a disgrace than the Saints offense.
That guy that we had on for an interview, he doesn't even listen to us anymore.
37 in Malta.
37?
Oh, disgraceful.
Are we doing better in South Korea?
South Korea, man. We had Mina Kimes on, and we haven't fallen out of the top
3 years ago.
ever.
We had Mina Kimes.
We had Mina Kimes on, and like we roll.
They're still listening to that podcast.
3 years ago. Doesn't, man. It lasts. So, thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks for supporting the show. Become a patron. You should. We're amazing.
Happy Smoke Tuesday, everybody.
For Dave, for Andrew, for Kevin, I'm Ralph. And Thomas, the best freaking producer in the world, running the show in Poland. He's amazing. Right. Listen, kids, if you're going to support a Saints podcast, you should support the one that wins awards. Until next week, the bar is closed.